Welcome to Cooking with Ovid. Today we got this nice rack of lamb. I scored the fat side, and then we're just going to take a look at it here. Got to peel off that little skin over the back side of those ribs there. When you cook it up, it just gets kind of gummy and gross. Not really what we're going for, so just got a couple fingers under there. Ripped it all off as best as I could. That's all you really got to do. You can't do too much more. Right here I'm just hitting that fat side with a little bit of salt. This really helps bring out some of that moisture and overall improve the quality and taste. I also threw a little bit of sage on there just to add a nice little earthy flavor to it, some herbalism, if you will. Just adds another layer of flavor there, a little more depth to it that you can't really get without those things. So I'm just going to sprinkle that on the top there. It doesn't need too much, just a little dusting, because I'm going to grow these, so you don't want those herbs to burn too much, and it kind of messes with the flavor. But I just gone ahead and done that on both sides. A little salt, a little sage, nice little combination, just kind of pulls everything together, adds an extra layer of flavor to those ribs you wouldn't get without them. Threw them in a Ziploc bag here, going to make a little marinade for them. So I'm starting off with some honey. That's going to add a little bit of sweetness, but not too much, a little mellow sweetness to those lamb ribs there. And yeah, just give it a little more liquid to marinate in. You can see down in there on the bottom there I got some pomegranate juice. We're going to go ahead and hit those ribs with that next. This marinade, I'm going to let it all sit in the fridge overnight, and then it'll have some extra flavor to that. Went with pomegranate juice, kind of to reflect the myth of Persephone and Hades. She ate those pomegranates, and that's why she had to stay down there. Adding in some lemons too, just for a little bit of extra freshness in there, a little sourness, some zest. Just another layer of flavor. Leave that peel in there. Gonna add even more flavor as it all marinates. All those flavors gonna get to know each other real nicely. Can't go wrong with a nice little easy marinade. Just add more flavor, especially since I scored that fat side. It's gonna really get into that meat well, add a lot of flavor. Next up, we're gonna work on a salad to put on the side here. So for the dressing on that, I'm just gonna start with a little bit of lemon juice. Nice bit of acidity in there, gonna help give it that sharpness, a little sweetness too. So after we hit it with a little bit of lemon juice, we're going to go in there with some olive oil. Got some Kalamata olives I'm using as a topping, but those were sitting in some olive oil, so it's going to add a little saltiness to that dressing, as well as a little bit of oil to balance out the acidity. Usually use oil and vinegar. I used oil and lemon juice, just kind of different thing. Added in a little bit of garlic as well, add some sharpness to that salad dressing. And last thing I'm going to go in here with is a little bit of Dijon mustard. I just like to add it to salad dressings. Not too shabby. Mix it all up together here. Kind of got to beat the chunks of mustard to break them apart so it all incorporates nicely. And then as soon as we have that done, just finish up mixing it here real quick. I'm going to go in and hit it with a little bit of kale. This is Tuscany kale from Tuscany. That's in the northern part of Italy, I do believe. So incorporate some Romanism into our Greek-style lamb. Add in a little bit of feta cheese on top. Sprinkle it over the top, and there's our salad. Next up, we're going to go ahead and throw that lamb rack on the grill. We're going to get that fat side down. Hopefully get a nice little sear on it. Take a little bit of paper off the top there. And then, oh wow, okay, we had a metamorphosis. Looks like Juno was upset. She done turned it into a cow. So looks like our dinner has turned into ribeye steaks. What a shame, just kidding. But to do that, I just got some ribeyes from Aldi's. They have great options there. The meat's good. It's got some nice marbling to it. Ribeye's the best cut of meat as well. Got them out onto the plate and hit it with a little salt. I didn't record that. And then we got some garlic and herb seasoning in here. You can't go wrong with garlic and herbs. Even the Greeks knew that. That's why they put it on a lot of Greek food. Romans, Italians also enjoy using garlic flavors, herbs in their seasonings when they cook. Food is a big part of both of those cultures, so I thought this was fitting to add in. Go ahead and spread that on the meat. Flip to the other side. Make sure you get both sides coated nice and evenly. Go ahead, switch out the gloves, of course, and hit it with a little more of that seasoning on that second side just to get that flavor all in there, and hopefully it'll come through when we cook it. Spoiler alert, it did. Tasted pretty good. I just went ahead and threw them on the grill. So this next part, I'm just checking the temperature here. You know, nice steak, if cooked properly, gonna be about 135 in the middle. You pull it off a little beforehand though. That one was 125, which is good. It'll rest up to that temperature. This other one was a wee bit more done, but that's all right. Throwing them up top while I go inside, grab a plate, and while those were cooking, I also made some tortellinis to go on as a side. Tortellini, pasta, Italian, bang, Roman. Get those boiling up. These were mushroom and Parmesan tortellinis. And just hit them in some boiling water real quick. Cook them up, get that pasta, get those pasta parts softened up. Drain them out. Get that water out of there. And then we just go ahead and we dump them back straight into the pot. Keep them warm in there. While they're warm up, we're going to hit them with a little liquid butter. It's just melted butter in a bottle. It ain't nothing crazy. In addition to that, I wanted to hit it with some oregano, get some Greek herby flavors in there, as well as some whole rosemary leaves. Finally, we went and we topped it off with just a little sprinkle of salt. Add in a little more flavor. You can't go wrong with a little saltiness in there. Go ahead and get that all mixed up together. Get the flavors incorporated nice and well. Once that is all mixed up, it's pretty much ready to go. So we got our steaks. Throw them on a plate right there. Since Juno turned Io into cow, I figured it was fitting that our lamb, which was also pure like Io was, you know, lamb symbol of purity, got turned into beef. Through a metamorphosis, of course. Throwing some tortellini on the plate there, and that right there is dinner. Went ahead and figured I had to try it for myself. Cut the steak open. I was pretty happy with how it looked. I like my steak a little more on the rare side, so that's why I left it like that. Kind of pink in the middle. But cut real easy. That was a butter knife I used. Tasted pretty good. I was very happy with how it turned out. I was so happy, in fact, that I decided to share with my friends. This was me trying them tortellinis. I was talking, didn't come through, but those were pretty good as well. The salt, the oregano, and rosemary on there really helped. Buddy Silas went to try the steak. He eats with his hands because he's weird like that, and he liked it. Finally, Tony seemed to enjoy it as well. Here he is, cut it with a butter knife, and he thought it was pretty good, gave it a thumbs up. So there you have it. And that, my friends, is Cooking with Ovid. We had some steak, we had some tortellini. I definitely didn't just burn the rack of lamb and had to scrap it. That's not why that happened at all. But thank you very much.